Leonardo da Vinci. Just hearing the name stirs up images of breathtaking artwork, mind-boggling inventions, and an insatiable curiosity that stretched across the realms of art and science. His most famous work, the Mona Lisa, might just be the most iconic painting in history. But behind that enigmatic smile lies a man whose intellect and creativity knew no bounds. Today, we're going to unravel the mystery of Leonardo da Vinci, not just as the artist behind the Mona Lisa, but as one of the most brilliant minds the world has ever known. Let's start at the beginning. Leonardo was born in 1452 in the small town of Vinci, near Florence, Italy. He was the illegitimate son of a notary, Ser Piero, and a peasant woman, Caterina. Now, being born out of wedlock during the Renaissance might have limited Leonardo's social standing, but it didn't limit his curiosity, his drive, or his incredible talent. Even as a child, Leonardo was captivated by the world around him. Whether it was the way light danced on the surface of water, the intricate flight of a bird in the sky, or the swirling patterns of water in a stream, Leonardo found beauty and wonder in the simplest things. Imagine being a young boy in the rolling hills of Tuscany, surrounded by nature's beauty, with an insatiable desire to understand how everything works. Leonardo's childhood was filled with exploration. His curiosity was limitless. One story tells of how Leonardo would take long walks in the woods, spending hours observing insects, plants, and animals. He was fascinated by the natural world. His sketches of plants and animals were so detailed that, even as a young boy, his drawings rivaled those of professional artists. It was this deep connection to nature that would later influence his art, his inventions, and his scientific studies. At the age of 14, Leonardo's talent was undeniable. His father recognized it, and so Ser Piero arranged for Leonardo to become an apprentice in the workshop of Andrea del Verrocchio, one of Florence's leading artists. Verrocchio's workshop was a melting pot of creativity, filled with artists, sculptors, and engineers, all working together to create masterpieces for the powerful Medici family and other wealthy patrons. For Leonardo, this was the perfect environment to nurture his talents. He learned the traditional techniques of painting, sculpting, and metalworking, but what truly set him apart was his relentless curiosity. Leonardo wasn't just satisfied with creating beautiful art. He wanted to understand the world in all its complexity. One of the first major works Leonardo contributed to was The Baptism of Christ, a painting commissioned by the monks of San Salvi and executed under Verrocchio's direction. Legend has it that Leonardo painted an angel in the background of the painting. His contribution was so exquisite, so full of life and realism, that when Verrocchio saw it, he vowed never to paint again, convinced that his young apprentice had surpassed him. This story might be a bit of an exaggeration, but it speaks to the extraordinary talent Leonardo possessed even at a young age. As Leonardo grew older, his fascination with the natural world deepened. He didn't just want to depict what he saw, he wanted to understand how it worked. This is where his famous sketchbooks come into play. These notebooks are a window into his mind, a place where art and science merge seamlessly. Leonardo filled these pages with detailed anatomical studies, sketches of flying machines, observations about water and light, and even blueprints for war machines. Imagine flipping through these sketchbooks, each page revealing a new facet of his genius. One moment, you're looking at a perfectly detailed drawing of the human heart, and the next, you're staring at a sketch of a helicopter, 500 years before helicopters were even invented. One of the most famous drawings from these notebooks is the Vitruvian Man. This iconic image of a man inscribed within a circle and a square is more than just a study of human proportions. It represents Leonardo's belief that the human body was a reflection of the divine order of the universe. The proportions of the body, according to Leonardo, were mathematically significant, symmetry that mirrored the harmony of the cosmos. To him, the human body wasn't just beautiful, it was a masterpiece of engineering, a perfect balance of form and function. And now let's talk about the painting that made Leonardo a household name, the Mona Lisa. Painted between 1503 and 1506, this small portrait has become perhaps the most famous painting in the world. But what is it about the Mona Lisa that has captivated audiences for over 500 years? It's not just the mastery of technique, although Leonardo's use of sfumato, a technique of blending colors to create soft transitions, is certainly remarkable. It's not just the composition, although her posture and the subtle interplay of light and shadow are flawless. No, what makes the Mona Lisa truly special is the emotion it evokes. Her smile, both subtle and haunting, seems to change depending on where you stand. Her eyes seem to follow you, no matter where you move, a phenomenon known as the Mona Lisa effect. This effect is no accident. Leonardo was a master of optics, and he understood how the human eye perceives light and depth. By using his scientific knowledge of vision, he was able to create a painting that feels alive. It's as if the woman in the painting is looking back at you, her expression full of mystery and depth. This combination of art and science is what makes the Mona Lisa so unique. She's not just a portrait, she's a reflection of Leonardo's understanding of the human experience, of emotion and of psychology. But who was the woman behind the Mona Lisa? For centuries, art historians have debated her identity. The most widely accepted theory is that she was Lisa Gherardini, the wife of a wealthy Florentine merchant named Francesco del Giocondo. The painting was likely commissioned to celebrate the birth of their second son. However, there are other theories. Some believe the painting may be an idealized representation of femininity, while others speculate that it might even be a self-portrait of Leonardo himself, rendered as a woman. This mystery only adds to the allure of the Mona Lisa. And here's another interesting fact. Leonardo kept the painting with him throughout his life, constantly refining it until his death. He never delivered it to the family, as was originally intended, which makes us wonder, was the Mona Lisa more than just a commissioned portrait to Leonardo? Was she perhaps a personal obsession? Leonardo's genius wasn't confined to the canvas. He was equally passionate about science, and one of his greatest contributions was in the field of anatomy. He spent years studying the human body, dissecting cadavers to understand how muscles, bones, and organs work together. His anatomical drawings are masterpieces in their own right, filled with intricate details that were centuries ahead of their time. These studies were more than just for artistic purposes. Leonardo wasn't content with merely observing the surface. He wanted to understand the mechanics of life itself. His drawings of the heart, for example, are so accurate that modern scientists have marveled at how closely they resemble images taken by modern medical technology. Leonardo's sketches of the chambers of the heart, the valves, and the way blood flowed through the body were groundbreaking. And it wasn't just human anatomy that fascinated him. He studied the anatomy of animals as well, comparing the structures of humans and animals to better understand how nature had designed living organisms. Leonardo saw the body as a machine, a perfect system of interconnected parts, and he wanted to unlock the secrets of how it all worked. Leonardo's curiosity didn't stop at anatomy. His notebooks are filled with designs for inventions that were centuries ahead of their time. One of his most famous inventions is his design for a flying machine. Based on his observations of birds in flight, Leonardo sketched out detailed plans for a machine that could allow humans to soar through the skies. His designs included wings that flapped like a bird's, complete with mechanisms that mimicked the muscular movements of a bird's wings. He understood that flight wasn't just about flapping wings. It was about lift and air resistance, concepts that wouldn't be fully understood until the 20th century. In addition to his flying machines, Leonardo sketched designs for tanks, submarines, and even a precursor to the modern helicopter. He also designed elaborate war machines, including cannons, crossbows, and even a giant armored vehicle that could roll onto the battlefield and fire weapons from all directions. But these weren't just fanciful drawings. Leonardo based his designs on careful observation and scientific principles. He studied the mechanics of how things moved, how forces interacted, and how materials could be used to create machines that could transform the world. Another of Leonardo's masterpieces is The Last Supper. a mural painted on the wall of a convent in Milan. This iconic work captures the moment Jesus announces to his disciples that one of them will betray him. The composition of the painting is nothing short of brilliant. Jesus sits at the center of the table, calm and serene, while the disciples react with shock, disbelief, and confusion. Each figure is a study in human emotion, and Leonardo masterfully captures the tension of the moment. One of the most remarkable things about the Last Supper is Leonardo's use of perspective, the way the figures are arranged, the way the light falls on their faces, and the way the room itself is designed. All draw the viewer's attention to the center of the painting, to Jesus. It's as if the entire painting is pulling you into that single dramatic moment, and yet, despite the intensity of the scene, there is a sense of calm, a sense that even in this moment of betrayal, there is something larger at play, something divine. This balance between emotion and serenity is what makes The Last Supper one of the most powerful works of art in history. In his later years, Leonardo moved to France, where he spent the final chapter of his life under the patronage of King Francis I. Even as his health declined, Leonardo's mind never stopped working. He continued to sketch, to study, and to dream. He passed away in 1519 at the age of 67, but by that time, his legacy was already secured. Through his art, his inventions, and his insatiable thirst for knowledge, Leonardo had changed the world. Today, Leonardo da Vinci is remembered as the ultimate Renaissance man, a polymath who merged art and science in a way that no one had done before or since. His ability to bridge the gap between creativity and logic, between beauty and precision, is what makes his work timeless. Leonardo didn't just paint pictures or design machines. He expanded the boundaries of what was possible, showing the world that art and science are not separate disciplines, but two sides of the same coin. And so, the next time you see the Mona Lisa, or hear the name Leonardo da Vinci, remember that you're not just looking at a piece of art or reading about a historical figure. You're connecting with a mind that changed the way we see the world. Leonardo da Vinci was more than an artist, more than a scientist. He was a visionary, a genius who dared to dream of a future that wouldn't be realized for centuries. If you enjoyed this exploration of Leonardo's life and legacy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the lives of history's greatest figures. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring the wonders of art and science.